Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lori and I'm the face behind Entre Tejidos Crochet. Here we do a lot of crazy crochet chaos. Today's vlog will hopefully be 10 days worth of vlogging. I do have a lot of things on my docket, but then again, as crocheters, we always have a lot on our to-do list. But the two major things that I do want to do these 10 days that we're off from school is to work on the 5 sapo concho custom orders that I have to do. Silver lining with this is that the event coordinator reached out and mentioned that she was going to have to switch some days around. In a way, it was like, yes, because now I have more days to work on these custom orders. To be honest, I have been dragging my feet because when I pattern tested the Ricci Island frogs, I'll mention it here and I'll include the link in the description box. When I tested, I don't know, like in my mind, I had it that it was going to be a really long sort of pattern. I've started working on them already. I have a bag of body parts. Froggy body parts. So here I have the arms and legs for one more frog. I already started working on one. This is it. let me just do that right now. There. I don't know. My method of color changing is that instead of completely dropping the end, I just drop it inside and then I like pick it up on the next stitch. But sometimes I don't pull it enough, which is why it was kind of like all bent, but now it's fixed. I will go back in. I actually will like flip it inside out and tie all the ends together so that I don't have any sort of ends running around, if you will. But so far, my progress has been non-existent, if I'm honest. It's been really busy at school, really busy at home. Adult life, need I say more? But the fact that I have a total of 4 arms, 4 legs, and 1 body done, for me is a lot. But I am going to use these next few days to really crank these out because I got an extra week to work on them, and that extra week I'm actually off from school so I can crochet all day. So I can really get these out. Now in terms of yarn, I started using, this is Hobie's Honey Bunny yarn, but once I run out of this color, I am going to continue with almond butter, which is almost the same. This one is a bit more orangey, but I'm okay with that. And then the accent color that I'm going to use for all of them is going to be toffee, and toffee also works with almond butter. On top of that, I also custom made eyes for them. I don't know if I'll probably have the listing up by the time you're watching this. If not, you can pay attention to it if you follow me on Instagram. That's usually where I keep more up to date. Now, these are the eyes that I painted for the sapo conchos, and to be honest, I love them because, look, let me see if I can get the camera to focus. Okay, so these have 3 layers of glitter. The first one is like really small goldish green, yes, gold and green glitter, followed by a layer of like chunkier glitter. Then the last layer is like that deep red, almost like ruby color. I love them. And the reason that I wanted to make this specific mix of glitter is because I'm trying to go by the actual colors of the frog. And even though they don't have these sparkly eyes, I was like, I spent a good like 2 or 3 minutes looking through various pictures of El Sapo Concho, and their eyes kind of mimic this sort of color scheme. Now, I really need to get on top of this because not only do I have to make 5 frogs, I also have to add clothes to them. So over here you can see a little bit of like this blue color and red. Those are for the clothes. So yeah, a lot, I know. As I say this, I am like, am I going to have enough time to make them? But at the same time, you know, it's okay. I'll try and make all 5 of them. If I don't make all 5 of them, I can just reach out to the person and send them through the mail, like mail it to them. The other major thing on my docket is this situation. Right now, you only see 4 of them. I have 4 more over there that are kind of worse. But I need to get on top of that, and in between working through the custom orders and, you know, doing other projects, because I need to finesse Beady Beetle and Daisy Dragon because they release next week. So through all of that, I hope to work on this, which is not too bad. I mean, it's awful. It's bad, but it's not too bad that I want to work through it, because what I plan on doing this time around is, if the yarn is in a skein, I'm gonna leave it in a skein, and then anything that's not in a skein, I'll cake it or recake it and organize it. That's my plan before actually tackling it. Will it be the same as what I end up doing? I don't know, but that's what we're going to be doing. That's what we'll see over the course of these next 10 days. I will try my best to update you all as much as I can. For now, yes, I should be working on frogs, but I just want to work on something that I'll probably be done with it by tomorrow. So I'm going to work, and I'm bringing you along with me. I'm going to work on 2 more beady beetles. Why 2 more? I've mentioned this in previous vlogs. Whenever I release a pattern, I try to make 3 of them, at least 3 of them. We all know I went a little bit crazy with the dinosaurs, where I made, I think for like the standard Danny Dino, I made like 10 different dinosaurs, even though the pattern pack is 7. For baby Danny Dino, I made about, I think it was 10 too, because I gifted a couple of them. So I try to make multiples of my pattern while it's in testing so that I can work the kinks out. I can also take more or better or different progress photos for the pattern, and it works out. Plus, I also can, like, you know, get excited about my own patterns, which I always do. I always get super excited with my own pattern. I have no idea what colors I want to work on them, but thankfully I have my Pinterest board that I can use, you know, for color combos and that sort of thing. I'm gonna grab a handy dandy tote, put all the colors here, and that's going to be my sit on the couch project. But that is it for right now. I'm going to go yarn shopping in my stash for colors for Beady Beetle, and I'll show you, I'll also circle back real quick the colors that I picked out along with the safety eyes. Check back in right now. Usually when I pick my colors, I just stare at my yarn stash and like, oh, I want to make this. But since my yarn stash is a mess right now, I went into Pinterest and picked out 2 color combos, and I matched them to safety eyes that I had on hand because I did not want to paint any new safety eye colors. So for the first one, I chose these purple eyes by Chronically Abby. Hi, Abby. So I'm gonna use these purple eyes and just look at what I'm going to pair them with. This is going to be my color scheme for those purple eyes. So think of this. This is Beady Beetle right here in these, in these colors. And then the second one, I also grabbed eyes from Crochet-A-Longs. These are more orangey, but they do have kind of like a yellowish tint. So I chose these colors for those orangey eyes, and I'm really excited. I really want to start working on them. Hopefully in my next update I will show you. So let's get to crocheting. Update 2, this is day 2 of 10 days of crochet content. I finished the bugs. Full disclosure, I don't know what happened yesterday. I think my brain went for like a vacation, and I ended up, after I picked my colors, I only made the body of one of them, even though I had enough time to maybe finish both bodies. But it is what it is. Sometimes we do need those moments where we just don't think. So here's the one that is all pinks, purples, and yellows. I kind of struggled with not pairing the colors. The colors are awesome together. It was more of where I was going to put what color in order to use all 5 colors that I picked out. And I don't know. I think it worked out because when I was a scrapbooker, I typically liked to make layouts where your vision or your eyesight was working in a triangle, if you will. So it went from the photo to one section and then another section of the layout so that your eye kind of traveled all around. And I kind of went for that, where you start with this purple, then you go to the purple in the eyes, and then over to this purple. I don't know if that's anything like logical. I just went with it. So this is the number 1. The eyes, I think I mentioned it, but these are by Crochet-A-Longs. And at first glance, it's like this purple mixed in with this purple. But there are actually like flakes of pink in it, and it just, I don't know, it just brings it all together. Then the other one is this one, and I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. Why do I sound like I'm surprised at that? Well, the wings are made differently, and I realized when I was taking final photos that I sewed this one the wrong side. So this part is supposed to be the underside, but at the same time, like, the color change is not that noticeable. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. But when I designed Beady Beetle, I made the kind of like striped wings where I color changed for each of the rounds. And this one I made that I color changed every 2 rounds. And I don't know. I mean, I like both options. If I were to have more time to make another one, I'm gonna try and see if I can make like a solid one. Or, and this is me being crazy, maybe I do have rainbow eyes. Because my brain was like, okay, maybe I can make a rainbow one where the body is white and then the wings are rainbow, because the wings have 12 rounds. So I could do 2 rounds of each of the colors of the rainbow in rainbow order and add rainbow safety eyes that I have. But I'm gonna put that idea in the back burner. I'll write it down in my notebook to see if I can actually get to it, because the next thing that I want to do before I start working on the custom orders, it's time. It's finally time to work on the jumbo standard sized daisy dragon, not the baby daisy dragon, the normal sized but in Parfait Excel yarn. I really, really, really do hope I have enough yarn to make her, because in the main color you need about 200 yards to finish her when made in Parfait Chunky. I did try to do the math. It's supposed to be the same amount, except that for some reason I just got more yarn just in case. So I got about 7 skeins of the main color. She's going to be made in green, and then like the toenails or the toe beans and the horns and wings are going to be made in purple. So that's going to be it. Usually for Parfait Chunky, I use a 9mm or an 8mm hook. I think, to be on the safe side, we're gonna go with the 8mm crochet hook. I'm excited for that. So far so good in being able to vlog my updates each and every day. So we started yesterday with like, this is what we're doing and whatnot. We started out strong. We've already made 2 beetles, and now hopefully we'll make a dragon, and then once I get that dragon out of my system, if you will, I'll jump into finishing the custom orders that I have. But that is going to be the update for now. We are going strong. This is day 3, update number 3. Now, mind you, I am filming earlier in the day than I did yesterday, so I probably haven't gotten a whole lot done, but it's a start. I did just finish filming the everything I made in September video, which explains the mess that I have on my desk right now. It's like plushie, 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 plushie. I'll organize this in a little bit. I did drop by the post office and I got an order of Premier yarns so that I can continue making the sapo conchos. And I also got, it's a yarn haul for me, but it's a yarn destash for another person on Instagram. And it's a lot of blanket yarn. And I'm excited, but at the same time, it's like, I need to organize this. So hopefully we'll get into that in over the next couple of updates. Crochet wise, like literally crochet wise, what did I do after the update? I did take final photos. I filmed a little bit of content for the 2 beady beetles that I finished yesterday, along with the first one that I made. Oops. So the first one that I made, they just look so cute together. And then it took me a while because Parfait Excel yarn is denser and a bit heavier, actually a lot heavier than Parfait Chunky. These are the arms for the standard Daisy Dragon. Since I just filmed my everything I made video, I have her over here. This is standard Daisy Dragon in Parfait Chunky. This, let me cross that over. Look at, she is going to be huge. This is her arm. This is the same arm made in Parfait Excel. And I am making it with an 8mm crochet hook, just for like reference, and she's going to be heavy because, to be honest, like right now, I would say about a pound, give or take. She's going to be way heavier when made in Parfait Excel, but I am super excited. I'm also filming like little bits and pieces of the progress that I'm making. It's going to be epic. It's going to be epic for sure. Now, what are my plans for today? I hope to work at least on the back legs, which are generally like the same pattern, but they're longer. So I hope to have those done tonight. If I do have the time, I'll start on the face, and then I don't know why, but after you do the 4 legs and the face, the rest, it just like flows together, and I hope to have her done between today and tomorrow, hopefully. Now, let's look at what I got in terms of blanket yarn. Since we're talking about yarn, I will show you the blanket yarn, but this is what I got from Premier Yarns. As I mentioned, it's just, this is Toffee, Poppy, and Azure, I always mix up that word, and Almond Butter. All of these colors will be going towards making more sapo conchos. I did get 4 of Almond Butter because if I do have any leftovers, I'll just keep using it because it's such a nice color. You know, if you love Premier Yarns as much as I do, follow them on Instagram. That's typically where you can see all the details and deals that they have. Right now, like for the month of October, while supplies last, everything that says Parfait, Parfait Chunky, Parfait XL, Parfait Plush is 20% off. If you're like me and you like those yarns, run and get them. There's an affiliate link in the description box if you choose to buy more Premier yarns. This is a very heavy box. If I recall correctly, it was a lot of blanket yarn, yes, but I got more of the, like most of them are going to be the perfect phasing ones. And the reason I got so much blanket yarn was that it was pretty reasonably priced, but also because I've been using a lot of it recently, and these Bernat blanket yarns specifically I can't get here in Puerto Rico. Michael's doesn't ship to Puerto Rico, Joann's is no more, so the only way I can get Bernat blanket is by people destashing them. So let me open this up a little bit. And so I got a cake of perfect phasing Bernat blanket. The color is dark blue. Ooh, that is very pretty. Misty jungle green, and this is dappled. I did use a dappled one previously. I believe the color was cappuccino or something like that. But I'm glad I grabbed this green one. Perfect phasing in fuchsia. Dappled in sunny. I got baby blanket sparkle in seafoam sparkle. Perfect phasing in, I guess it's purple. Dark orchid. I was close. Baby blanket frosting in cozy rosy. Baby blanket in bubbly blue. 2 skeins of Bernat blanket in pale gray. 2 cakes of dappled in apricot. Another perfect phasing one in deep teal. I got Big Twist Party, and I mean to make a beanie with it because for the Cuddles for Courage this time around, it's called Holiday Hugs. So we're prepping beanies, we're prepping smaller plushies to fit into joy jars. So I do want to work up a couple of beanies. And then the last, because no, I'm not done. Well, after this, I am done. I grabbed 3 of the perfect phasing black. It's actually called Deep Black. But here's my thought process. Imagine an anchor made with these, where I don't have to pay attention to like the tentacles, like the underside are going to be this color, and like I can just like zone out, make him, and then if you've seen octopi, or yeah, if you've seen an octopus color changing, it kind of looks like, I don't know. hopefully what I have here will translate into, you know, will translate, hopefully. So I got 3 skeins of those, and I've been meaning to make another anchor because the 2 that I had in stock both sold, and I don't know, I just love anchors. So I have a lot to do. And what am I gonna do now? Well, to be honest, I'm gonna go take a nap. And then after I take a nap, I will either start working on organizing my yarn cubbies or crochet, or maybe a little bit of both. Who knows? But I'll catch you later. If any of this is any indication, I have fluffies everywhere. It's pure chaos right now in the room of requirement, because not only am I organizing this, I'm trying to organize things in a little bit of a more functional sense. I have a little rollerway cart which I've put back here with most of the blanket yarn that I have. Well, most of the full skeins of blanket yarn that I have. I have a bunch that I am still caking up. I did manage to organize this little cubby over here. That is 2 rows full of basix chenille, and then I'm organizing the things that I have on top of the cubbies, as well as I pulled out the pinks, purples, and reds that I had here so that I can cake them up. She's done. She's done. Daisy Dragon in Parfait Excel is done. Like, what? I don't know. I'm speechless. I'm at a loss for words as to how adorable, how amazing she turned out. There were moments where I was second guessing my thought process, but she's done. I used 40mm safety eyes, which I got from Fairy Tale Crafts by Zay, if I'm not mistaken. I'll link her shop down below. I actually got 3 different pairs. 2 of them were on the purple side, the other one was a green, but this one is just like awesome. I added a little bit of an eyelash detailing to her so that she looks even sweeter. She has her headband, her wings are almost the size of my head, if a little bit bigger. She is chunky. I severely miscounted the amount of yarn I would need for her. I actually got enough yarn to make 2 of her. So somewhere in the near future, I might work up another one of her. For now, I don't know. I think I'm gonna keep her. In fact, I think I'm gonna, like, she's going to be up there on top of my cubbies. I don't know. I am obsessed. I'm obsessed with her. Now, all told, I used under a pound of polyfill. So I opened up a new bag of polyfill, a new bag of 16 ounces, so a pound of polyfill, and I still have less than half a bag left. So if you wanted to know how much polyfill she used, that's how much. In terms of the main color, I used under 3 skeins of Parfait Excel with an 8mm crochet hook. The eyes, as I mentioned, are 40mm safety eyes, and I used about maybe a quarter of a skein of each of the accent colors for the rest of her. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. But that is the update that I have for now, because I need to go and cake up some yarn. It's update time. Crochet-wise, I haven't done a whole lot other than I started working on a beanie. I'm using a pattern by Bago de Crochet. It's one of her easy and quick sort of patterns, and I'm using Big Twist Hush. I got this skein of yarn, I think about a year ago, and I wanted to make a beanie with it, but I just didn't find the correct pattern to make it. So I finally did. And the reason that I'm making a beanie is because I've mentioned this a little bit, but I've joined the Cuddles for Courage for another round, and this time around we are focusing on, you know, doing twisted headbands, on doing beanies, so that we can add into the joy jars, as well as adding in tinier plushies. But since I'm organizing, we see a little bit of progress, right? We have just like 3 skeins of pink in the pinks, purples, and reds section. But for the most part, this entire part, as I mentioned, is entirely basix chenille full skeins. Anything that wasn't a full skein, I pulled out and I've caked it up, and that's where I'm adding them. I'm adding them like over here. Anything brunette blanket or basix chenille that is not a full skein will be stuck there. It's still quite a mess here, but I'm only like, I'm going at it little by little. The cart that I showed you yesterday, it did get like 2 or 3 more full skeins of brunette blanket. So we're getting organized, which is good. But at the same time that I'm organizing my yarn, I find yarn. So this one I showed you in the in an earlier update that I got from a D-stash. So I'm thinking I'm going to run this one and this one, and I do believe I have another one of the Lion brand ice cream, but in another colorway. I'm gonna make these 2 into beanies as well, but I'll run them through my Centro machine because I want to make a lot of beanies, but I know I won't have enough time. This morning we had a nice conversation that my husband was like, well, why don't you, he asked me why I was making a beanie, and I told him the same thing I've just told you, and he's like, well, why don't you just run it through the machine? And I explained to him that it's a thicker yarn right now. This one is a 5mm hook. This one is a 5-weight yarn, and not only that, it's like butter. It's really soft, and the way that it's constructed is it's very, let me see if I can pull out a little bit. It's very, even though I'm taking my time with it, it does catch, and it almost looks like cotton yarn. And I know that if I run it through my machine, first of all, I don't think it's going to be able to pick up such a thick yarn. But even if it does, it might catch on itself, and I might not have a Centro machine, a knitting machine, by the end of trying to make a beanie. So it was just a nice conversation. But what am I going to do today? I will finish as much as I can. I will finish that beanie, and then I will try to, like, between watching a little bit of TV and relaxing, I will try to cake up some more yarn so that I can store it properly. I am dragging my feet with the Sapo Concho orders. It's weird that it's not a bad pattern. The pattern has nothing to do with it. It's just that it's one of those things that I just don't want to make them. I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know. But we need to be a crochet adult and do it. So hopefully once I get like this beanie out of my system and I organize a little bit more of my yarn stash, hopefully I'll like, okay, let's get this done, hopefully. But that is the update for now. Check-in time. I do have to apologize. I forgot to film yesterday. I don't know, the day kinda got away from me. Before I knew it, like the natural lighting that I have was like gone, and then my brain was like, eh. So, sorry for that, but I have been productive. I do have right in front of me, I have 2 current whips. One is for a custom order for a Henrietta chicken. This is the color that they chose. But I still have like 3 rounds to go. This is all I have left. So it's Frankenstein time, where I am going to grab different colors, maybe like a really light gray and then a little bit of beige or off-white or winter white, and like mix it up so it kind of looks like the same thing. Don't worry, I actually did that same thing when I was making the Dino Parasaurolophus mod in Bernat Blanket. I ran out of yarn and I had to do that. I'll include a little picture of it here. So I have that. The beanie is beanieing. It's coming along. I have just started the repeat rounds. I guess I'm like halfway done with it. Looking at it, I think it's going to be too big for a kid, but I don't know, maybe it'll be snug. Actually, it doesn't look that big. I don't know. But I thought I was going to get 2 beanies from one skein, but I think I'm already halfway through the skein, so that's a no-go, but it's fine. As long as I use up my yarn, it's okay. Leading up to the big reveal for this part, I have been working through organizing my yarn stash. Red, purple, and pink is done. This is Basix chenille. This is Basix chenille as well, mixed in with a couple of like balls of Bernat Blanket. And then over here, don't worry, I'll show it once I'm done with all the yarn stuff. I'll show it over. I have this 3-tiered cart that I filled with skeins, full skeins of Bernat Blanket. It's all there. Off camera, I don't have it. Again, I will reveal it once I'm done with it. I'm already working on the blues and greens over here, and I still have to do the yellows and oranges. But for the most part, the neutrals, which are off camera, they're done. And I have 2 extra cubbies over there that I'm just going to add in either my worsted weight yarn or my specialty yarn, which is kind of the yarn that I don't reach for like a whole lot. I just have it there for when the moment arrives. As I'm organizing my yarn stash, I am pulling out yarns that I can use with my knitting machine so that I can make some beanies. But I'm just setting them aside because I am grounding myself, if you will. I did it yesterday, which is kind of why I forgot to film. I grounded myself from doing other patterns, other crochet related things until I was able to finish what I'm going to show you in just a bit. But the reason that I'm doing that is because I easily get distracted and I want to make all the things, and before you know it, time has gone by. I haven't worked on the custom orders. I should give them over to the customer by this Saturday, or at least a few of them. That's what I've been doing. I've been grounding myself. So for the most part, I've set aside the skeins of yarn that I could use with my knitting machine, so that once I go through some of the custom orders, I can just like pull them out and then whip up these either twisted headbands or beanies. The moment I've been waiting for, the moment I'm sure you've been waiting for. Here's El Sapo Concho. Here he is in all his glory. It makes me smile because he is so cute. The colors are on point. Look at him. He's amazing. I finally did 1. I have to do 4 more. But it's also a project where because I severely underestimated the project in 2 ways. I severely underpriced him, so underestimated the price for him, and underestimated the time I would have to complete him. Taking into consideration that once I started him yesterday, I already had his arms, both legs, and the torso already done. I just needed to do the jacket and the pants, plus the head, and then add all the details. It still took me the better part of a day to finish. I'm not a slow crocheter. I think I'm actually a quick crocheter, but I think it was all like making sure that the sizing was correct and that sort of thing. So even though I did take breaks between crocheting to do housework and do a couple of other things, it still took me quite a bit to make. I realized that I thought that maybe the pants and the jacket would take half a skein, but they actually took a little bit more. It's all good because I have enough yarn in these colors to make them. The more yarn I use, the higher the price. So once I got into that, I was like, I underpriced these dudes, which is fine. I just know that if other people are going to order them from me, I will have that new, like, better price for them. Also, I would have a better idea of the time that it would take me to finish one in one sitting. I currently have arms and legs for another, and right after this update, that's what I'm gonna try and get as close to this as possible today, and then continue on tomorrow. I am not shooting, I'm trying to be human here, and I'm not shooting for having all 5. It's currently Tuesday. So I would have to have all 5 by Saturday, but I'm not shooting for all 5. I'm shooting for at least 3. We'll see how much I actually get done. But other than that, I've also worked on finishing up my Beady Beetle pattern and my Baby Daisy and Daisy Dragon patterns as well, because those release. One Beady Beetle releases tomorrow at the point that I'm filming this. It'll probably already be out as you're watching this. And then on Thursday, both Daisy Dragon and Baby Daisy Dragon will be done and published on Etsy. So I gotta go and finish one more sapo concho, and we'll go from there. But I will update you all later. Today has been a really productive day. An update on the sapo conchos. I've got the body with the legs attached for the second one, and hopefully after this update and after dinner and everyone's, you know, settled down, I hope to finish off the body and get started on its clothes. But that's sapo concho wise. But today has been a very productive day because I've fastened off 2 custom orders and I painted 3 safety eye orders. One of them is like the biggest one I've gotten to date in 2025 for 35 pairs of safety eyes. It's being shipped off tomorrow, as well as 2 other safety eye orders. So I spent most of the afternoon painting those. And then in the morning, I started off by gluing these plushies that I'm going to show you. I've made them before for my kiddos. They are very well loved, and they have shown me that yes, safety eyes can come off, but it's a weird way of them coming off, because typically you would think that the backing like unsticks, but this actually was, you can kind of see that it's a little bit popped up and this one isn't. It's actually that this part snaps off the stem. So the little stem, this thing right here is snapped off. It's still stuck to the backing, but the eye part, if you will, is snapped off. So one thing that I'm doing is I'm gluing them back on, because as I mentioned, these are very well loved plushies This one, they're so well loved that they just fling them across the room, and that's how they play with them, which is why I think the eyes popped off. This one also, you can see this one is nice and flush against the fabric, and this one is a little bit more popped up. And I use just this quick hold glue. That's what it says, quick hold. I got it at Walmart. It's for crafts. So far, so good. The reason I do this is because my kiddos don't want to get rid of their plushies, and they have a bajillion plushies, so I fixed them. So that's what I did this morning. You've probably seen this chicken across my vlogs, but I finally sat down and added eyes to her. I embroidered them. And I don't know, I think it just makes it so much more adorable. And then, I believe it was yesterday, I finished off all the pieces for this. I'm obsessed with like the dark brown, even though I don't particularly like brown. But then most of the furniture in my living room and dining room is like brown. It's not gray or black, it's brown, but it is what it is. And I finished off all the pieces for another chunky chicken. This one is for another custom order, so I can scratch off 2 custom orders. The order that had this chicken also had a sapo concho, and since I already finished it, we're done with that custom order. Then this one is also done. The next custom order, and the reason I'm focusing on this custom order is because it's 2 sapo conchos plus a bag charm. The bag charm, I just have to crochet a couple of flowers and add some beads and things like that. It shouldn't take me too long to make, but I really want to focus on making the frogs first. I'm feeling very, very good because, as I mentioned, I was able to get quite a bit done. I even managed to sneak in a pattern test, which I started last night because, you know, as I mentioned, I did work up the body, but I was like, I had a really overwhelming afternoon where when I get like that, I just get to cleaning. So I cleaned the entire house, and after that, I was like, I'm just gonna work on something that I want to work on, and I really wanted to work on this pattern test. This is Patty the polar bear, and the pattern test was for Wildcraft Crochet. I am obsessed. I am obsessed. Look at that little tail in the back. Oh my goodness. I'm obsessed. I double-stranded Bernat blanket. The print is called seafoam print, if I'm not mistaken, like the colorway. And since it had these little darker spots of taupe, I mixed in those fluffies are eyelash yarn. It's this one right here. I've used this yarn before. It's by Premier Yarns, and I'll insert a picture of it here. I actually used 3 strands of this in 3 different colors to make a catolotl. It's like a hybrid between a cat and an axolotl. I did grab this yarn this time around in neutral, like this is called Sand, because I do want to make another Buster Buffalo, but it's one of those things that keeps getting pushed to the background because of pattern test, of designing new patterns, of crocheting custom orders and things like that. So I was like, I want to make him a little bit fluffy, but not too fluffy. And this is how he turned out. I embroidered the eyes, which I'm super, super proud of. Normally when you use faux fur yarn or eyelash yarn, you do have to brush it out, and I did. I have this, it's specifically for my plushies. It's a cat hairbrush. So that's what I use for them. I don't know why it's super, super soft. It's like I keep grabbing it and going like this because it's just so, so soft. A very productive update. As I mentioned, right after this, I am going to just crochet my heart out by finishing up the 2 frog orders that I have. I hope to finish at least 3, so a total of 3 frogs, so 2 more, before I go and hand them out this Saturday. It's update time. I was not able to film yesterday because I've resorted to grounding myself until I can finish the sapo conchos that I have. Yesterday I spent most of the day working up the 3rd body. This would be the 3rd body of a sapo concho, as well as like answering emails and doing sending out the part 2s for the Crochet-A-Longs, because today was the last day to finish up part 1 of Daisy Dragon. So I've been sending out emails for that. I also spent most of the morning going over the final details for the pattern and uploading it to, like, listing it on Etsy. Today, I've been working a lot on finishing these 2 sapo conchos. But before that, I did manage to sneak in a little bit of, let's say, a guilty pattern make. It was a really quick pattern make, and I don't know, it's it's so adorable. It's a candy. The pattern is by Avery Crochets, and I had to add like the little mouth and embroidered some eyes. Thankfully, it is small enough, at least, that it fits, like the ball part fits in my hand, and it's okay if the little frills get squished like this. Oh, it kind of looks like a macaron like that, or like an ice cream sandwich or something. I don't know. I'm hungry. Now I gotta make a bunch more of these. I did put in an order from ADHD Crafted for like little mouths and little felt eyes, just so that I could add that sort of cuteness to them. But it's a start. I also started making the beads, like the bead dangle, if you will, for the bag charms that I have to make. And I was a bit selfish and I made one for myself. I made it in my favorite color is purple, and then followed by green and blue. And then I made 3 of them because I do have custom orders for 3 keychains. I'm going to try my best and make one of the keychains by tomorrow, but I don't know yet if I'm gonna have enough time or brain power to do that. But these keychains will have, or like bag charms, have a big sakura or cherry blossom flower at the top, and then it like either tulips or lavender flowers dangle from it. I know that for sure for the custom order that I'm going to show you, I have to they also requested a bag charm. I don't know, maybe I'll try and work it up in the car on our way over. But so far, very, very productive. And the sapo conchos are almost done. I have to cut up some little strands of yarn like the one I just did, but now they have their little jacket on. So this is one and the second one. I still need to go and adjust like how their jackets are put on, how they're wearing it, just so that they look good, and then sew it all closed. And right before I turned on the camera, I made a set of pants, and I already pulled out the yarn for the other pants, but I will give my hands a bit of a break because I have been crocheting for most of the day, because today has been mostly focused on the 2 jackets because I already had all of the body parts done. So I did, like, the first thing I did was assemble both frogs, then start making the jackets, put them on, weave in all the ends, and so on and so forth. Am I tired? Yes, I am very tired. Do I feel fulfilled because at least the minor goal of getting 3 done before Saturday was achieved? Yes, I do. Not only that, I was able to also finish a pattern test, which I already showed you. And, you know, I've been doing other things. My yarn area has been it's mostly done. I do have a bag of like greens and blues that are not full skeins that I will cake up and add to that section, but for the most part it is organized, and I feel good because usually when I organize my yarn, I feel the need to purge, to like get rid of things, and this time around I haven't. The other amazing thing is that I've looked at yarns like, oh, I have this color, I have this, I have that, and it's like, oh, I could use this to make this. And yeah, it has been very, very motivating. But that is the update for right now. We've made it to the end of today's video. It was a very interesting 10 days of crocheting. We made big makes like the jumbo daisy dragon. We had little makes like this piece of candy, and everything in between. We had projects that we were so excited about, projects where we weren't too excited to do, but we got through it. Should I be taking a break? Maybe. Am I taking a break? No. I started an anchor, and I'm really excited about this because I am using the Bernat Blanket Perfect Phasing yarn. The color is deep black. Let me grab all the tentacles. Here they are, and I am obsessed. I'm obsessed. This one is the first one that I've added the backing to it. I still have a ways to go, but I'm using, as I mentioned, the Perfect Phasing, and I just love how the transition is going, because here we have like the deepest black, but at the back, I don't know if the camera picks it up, we have this slightly darker gray with a very light gray on the other side. I'm excited to finish him, but he will be featured in a future video, not right now. If you liked today's video, please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below with anything that caught your eye in today's video. Share the video with someone you know, spread the word, and I will see you next week with another video. Have a very crafty day or night wherever you are, and bye!